Hey guys, it's Coach Damon, and today we're going to bring you a drill series to work on becoming a better one-on-one defender. Now, very similarly to becoming quicker with your release or working on certain moves, the best way to become a defender, assuming that your footwork and your technique is down, is to put yourself in situations where you're at a disadvantage defensively and then you have to find success. So we're going to start very simply. Now I'm going to assume that you know how to close out, you know how to chop your feet and close out with your hands high, you know how to open your hips and talk, and all those small details are things you've already mastered. So once you've mastered those, this series is to then start working on those to translate that work into in-game success. So in your drill, we're going to have a coach, we're going to have a defender on the block, and then we're going to have an offensive player on the wing. Now as a coach, I'm going to say shot. Now as soon as I say shot, he's going to very quickly rotate his hips, he's closing out, and we're playing live from this spot. Now our only rule is, for the offensive players, he can't go dribble crazy. So we're not going to say there's a dribble limit of 3 or 4, but if he goes 8, 9, or 10, it's a win for the defense. So if we go through it a couple times live here, we're ready, shot. Closes out. Great job, great closeout, forces a miss. Notice how his hands were up, he chopped his feet. So we go through it again, shot. That's great D. That's a very tough shot. That's another win for the defense. We'll do it one more time through. Notice how perfect his closeouts are every single time. Shot. Great job. Great job, great defense. Great defense. So that's 3 straight wins for the D. Again, I know that when you watch that through, you're concerned with the result of the one-on-one possession. But notice how each time he closed out, his hands stayed active. Those small details that coaches talk to you about, he was doing every single possession. Now our next drill in the series is going to put the defense at a huge disadvantage, where to start the drill, they're not even going to know which direction the offensive player is going to go or where they're going to end up. So we're going to start with 2 players, and they're both going to be right underneath the basket. So as they come here and slide in, they're going to start to the side to get started, but they're here, and the offensive player is going to have his head right underneath the backboard. Now the defensive player is going to be right in front of him. The defensive player and the offensive player are both going to be looking at me, and the offensive player is going to put his hand on the defensive player's back. Now this drill starts as soon as his hand comes off. So as an offensive player, you can go right, you can go left. The only rule is going to be you can't catch it right now inside of the paint, so he can't just step and seal. So as you can imagine, defensively, he's going to be at a huge disadvantage because he's got to locate, he's got to feel, he's got to go in which direction he goes, and then from that point, he's got to close out and play great defense, even though it starts in such a chaotic, disadvantageous situation to start. So if we go through it here, again, offense is going to start the drill. As soon as that hand comes off, that's a great closeout. Great recovery. Great recovery. Let's go a couple more times through. That's great defense. We go again. Great job. Hand down and man down. Notice he put his hand down for a split second, and that's all it took for the shooter. One more time through. Great defense, great defense, great defense. That almost went in. Now, as a defensive player, this can be a very frustrating drill. But you're putting yourself in a situation from the beginning where you're hopefully never going to be in the game, where your back is to your man and you have no idea where he's going to go. So by putting yourself in that box, by putting yourself at a huge disadvantage, you force yourself to get better, quicker, and smarter as a defender to make sure that you get that stop. Now our last drill in the series is again going to put the defense at a disadvantage in a different situation. So now our offensive player is going to start in the corner, and our defensive player is going to start behind the baseline. Now their feet are both going to be stationary or stagnant, and the defense cannot move until the offensive player moves. Now as soon as the offensive player moves, he's going to be sprinting and tracing the 3-point line towards the coach. Now he's not going to be allowed to face cut or back cut because he's obviously in a position where he could get that every single rep through the drill. But if we walk through it, as soon as his feet move, he's up, I'm going to hit. When he catches, this time he's going to have 4 dribbles to score. Now as an offensive player, you can try to mess with the defensive player, and you might lean or jerk and try to get him to move his feet. Now, if the offensive player gets the defense to move his feet, so if we watch right now, if Wayne moves and we get the defense to move their feet just a little bit, then no matter make or miss, the offense gets to keep the basketball. Let's go through it a couple times live. Offense would keep it no matter what. He's got 4 dribbles to score. Great take. Great move, great D. Let's go 2 more times through. So that would have been an offense keeps it no matter what. Defense has to react. Big time shot. Big time shot. And last time through. Great D. That's great defense. So we talked about in all three of those drills, the defense is starting at a huge disadvantage. They don't know where the ball's coming from. They're starting literally behind the offensive player. But they have to find ways to be successful. If we put these guys out here and they played straight one-on-one, he'd be in a great position every single time. But we want to put him in a disadvantage, put him in a situation where he shouldn't be successful, and then force him to find success on a way to becoming a great defender.